At 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria County deputies arrest a man on arson charges.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sues Bexar County over its voter outreach effort.
And 2 more Crossroads counties will receive FEMA aid after Hurricane Beryl.
The rain beginning to wind down for now, thanks to the loss of daytime heat. More will be back tomorrow, but when will the cooler air hit our way? I'll let you know coming up in the forecast.
And Goliad Volleyball gets a massive win last night at Victoria West. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shauna Curry.
Victoria County deputies arrested a 20-year-old man Tuesday. Jordan Gonzalez of Victoria is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. The DPS arrested a 19-year-old man Wednesday. According to the Bay City Sentinel, Kanye Williams of Bay City faces 2 second-degree felony charges for collisions involving death. This is connected to a crash that killed 19-year-old Kylie Fulmer and 17-year-old Haley Matchett, both from Van Vleck. The DPS says they were passengers in the vehicle Williams was driving. The crash occurred early Monday morning in Van Vleck. Williams was driving a 2016 BMW that collided with a 1998 Cadillac Coupe de Ville and struck a utility pole. The vehicle caught fire after the crash.
At least 4 people are dead and 9 others are hurt and in the hospital following a shooting at a high school in Georgia.
The sheriff's office there says a 14-year-old suspect is in custody. Tonight they're trying to piece together what happened.
This is a parent's worst nightmare, is to hear about a shooting at their child's school.
A suspect is in custody following a shooting at a high school in Winder, Georgia.
At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirmed there were casualties.
This is going to take multiple days for us to get answers as to what happened and why this happened.
Heavy law enforcement presence was seen at Appalachia High School Wednesday, along with several ambulances going to and from the school. Video taken from a nearby neighborhood showed a fleet of law enforcement vehicles racing towards the high school. Another showed a long line of cars thought to be of parents parked in traffic headed towards the school. Others rushed towards the campus on foot.
I've walked almost 2.5 miles to get to the school.
Staff and students were ushered to the football field before being reunited with their parents. Some formed a prayer circle in an attempt to comfort each other, a somber moment in a new school year that only began a month ago. In a statement, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp urged all Georgians to join my family in praying for the safety of those in our classrooms.
An investigation by local officials has uncovered the cause of repeated fire alarms at Victoria West High School. The alarms were triggered on Tuesday, August 27th and Thursday, August 29th, leading to evacuations of the campus. Students and staff were able to return to class each time after the fire department gave the all clear. Now, Victoria ISD's maintenance department, along with the Victoria Fire Department, identified a faulty duct detector as the culprit. The detector was replaced, and they say the issue is now fixed.
Victoria County deputies arrested a 28-year-old man today. Landon McAfee of Hallettsville faces 2 counts of arson. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. 2 more counties in the Crossroads will get FEMA help after Hurricane Beryl. Governor Greg Abbott announced that the federal government has added Calhoun and Jackson counties to the Hurricane Beryl Major Disaster Declaration. Those counties are now eligible for reimbursement for permanent work through FEMA's Public Assistance Program. Matagorda and Wharton counties are already getting FEMA help after Hurricane Beryl. FEMA can help with emergency protective measures and debris removal. FEMA representatives at the Palacios Pavilion will be helping residents there this week. The pavilion is at 693 South Bay Boulevard. FEMA representatives will be at the pavilion from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. FEMA can help Palacios residents with paperwork and federal assistance after Hurricane Beryl.
Well, now let's take a first look at your forecast. In for First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez is meteorologist Trey Mining with your forecast. Trey.
All righty, still looking at some rain showers and storms still in the area, near Carn City specifically, and down to near Three Rivers and just west of Beeville. All is quiet for the moment in the Victoria region proper, but more rain in the Gulf of Mexico coming through your day tomorrow. And then the weather changes for the better. What I mean by that is lower humidity Yes, we're looking forward to that. Take a quick look at our temperature right here in Victoria. As the rain is moving on out, it's the clouds still remaining. Temperature rebounding a little bit with a little bit of sunshine here in the last few moments, 87 degrees. But temperatures will be falling nicely coming up by the weekend. We'll give the details on that coming up in the full forecast. Back to you guys.
Trey, thank you. Wharton County deputies arrested a 35-year-old man Tuesday. Richard Bustamante of El Campo faces 4 charges, including aggravated robbery and engaging in organized criminal activity. He is in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $150,500 bond.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is suing Bexar County over its voter registration outreach effort. This comes the day after Bexar County officials moved forward with a plan to mail county residents voter registration forms. Paxton threatened to sue them if they did so. This morning, Paxton filed a lawsuit in a state district court in Bexar County that seeks an emergency order to block the program. The lawsuit says counties lack the authority to send out unsolicited registration applications.
A new Texas bill requiring a parent or guardian's consent for social media under 18 is now in effect. The bill requires digital service providers to protect and limit data collection and content from anyone under the age of 18. A parent or guardian must give consent before allowing a minor to make a social media account. A federal judge partially blocked part of this new law last week. It is temporary until a final judgment is made in a lawsuit filed by 2 tech companies and a nonprofit free speech advocacy group. Shiner first responders found something potentially dangerous at a jewelry store there. A booby trap device was found inside a vintage safe. The device, designed to stop safecrackers, had a liquid that was used in World War I as a chemical irritant. 2 first responders put on hazmat clothing and carefully removed the potentially dangerous chemicals. They placed them in an airtight container for proper disposal. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The Calhoun County ISD Board approved a budget for this school year, along with the tax rate at its regular meeting. And the voter registration deadline is coming up. You can read these stories and more at the portlavacawave.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on
YouTube.
Got it. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, the presidential candidates continue detailing their economic proposals.
Also ahead, people in Fort Worth wait for the opening of Shaquille O'Neal's new restaurant. A driver in San Antonio used his cell phone to document how his SUV was submerged in a flash flood Tuesday morning. The man said several other cars were also stranded in rushing water. His SUV began to float and the swirling current spun it into another stalled vehicle. A San Antonio firefighter tethered to a rope managed to drag the man to safety. After a few hours, the water receded and all that was left was debris scattered across the roadways there. Well, with polls showing Vice President Kamala Harris closing the gap on former President Donald Trump's advantage when it comes to handling the economy, Harris visited New Hampshire today to unveil the next piece of her economic agenda.
Now, this agenda includes new benefits to entrepreneurs designed to spur the creation of more small businesses.
Vice President Kamala Harris revealing a new wave of economic goals in New Hampshire Wednesday.
My vision of an opportunity economy is one where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed.
Her proposals include expanding small business tax deduction for startup expenses, cutting the red tape for small business owners, and setting a goal of 25 million new small business applications in her first term.
I believe America's small businesses are an essential foundation to our entire economy. Think about it. Think about it. Small businesses in our country employ half of all private sector workers.
New polling shows that economic issues remain the top concern for voters in battleground states. Trump is the more trusted candidate when it comes to the economy, but Harris trails by smaller margins than President Joe Biden.
The election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries.
Most of the candidates' major economic proposals would require congressional approval. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The Biden administration addressed Russia's efforts to influence the 2024 election. The White House condemned Russia for using Kremlin-run media and online platforms to target U.S. voters with disinformation. 2 Russian nationals were charged with violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act for distributing content with hidden Russian messages. 10 others and 2 entities were sanctioned. The DOJ seized 32 domains used to spread AI-generated false narratives.
Well, a recent study shows an increase in telecommuting among local businesses post-pandemic. So that brings us to our viewer poll. We want to know, do you prefer working from home, returning to the office, or a hybrid kind of a mix of both? So it looks like a little bit more than half prefer working from home, and then the other little less than half are kind of split between whether they want to return to the office or a mixture of working from home and the office on different days. So continue to vote, and we will have the results of that on 25 News Now at 10.
Big Chicken, a fried chicken chain partly owned by Shaquille O'Neal, who at last report is big, opened a new location in Fort Worth yesterday.
Now, the first 34 people in line got free food from the chain for a full year. Now, 34 because that was Shaq's jersey number. The offer inspired quite a few people to get in line early.
Dozens stood outside in the rain just to get inside a new North Texas restaurant. Katie Butterworth's husband, Chadwick, convinced her to get in line.
We forgot all of our rain gear. We even stopped at Buc-ee's and could have gotten an umbrella and totally didn't.
They're waiting in the rain to get inside new restaurant
All right, I can take 4.
Big Chicken. Frank Perez was the first person inside Tuesday morning after being outside since Sunday.
Playing dominoes, cards, acting goofy in the rain.
Frank and his wife got hooked on Big Chicken while on a vacation cruise, so they are familiar with the menu.
I mean, I tried, different food chains, but this one, I got hooked.
The first 34 people in line will get free food for a year. That includes Jordan Henderson, who spent the night outside while celebrating her 25th birthday.
Slept on the ground, we got rained on, we're soaking wet in here right now eating, but it's a great birthday so far.
Some stayed in line despite constant rain.
Some people walked away, but the best thing is I had to stay, and I got this good umbrella, so I'm fine.
And others kept their fingers crossed, hoping to meet the owner, Shaquille O'Neal, whose face is displayed on the menu. Shaq and his 2 business owners own several restaurants, convenience stores, and gas stations, and now
I know he has a lot of things on his plate.
A North Texas Big Chicken. In Fort Worth, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Looks pretty tasty. Well, here are some of the top headlines that you can read in the Cuero Record. Yorktown residents are calling for action on dangerous dogs, and Hunt Elementary School holds a pep rally for kindness. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
You know, I was thinking they call that restaurant the Shackateria. Trying to be funny. All right, on the outside, we're seeing the flood watch in effect. It's been renewed until 1 o'clock on your Thursday. Does include Victoria County. More heavy rain headed our way. When will we see the sunshine? We'll take a look coming up. And good evening, everyone. Still looking at the rainfall in and around the Crossroads region. Had a pretty good round of thunderstorms move through Victoria about 3 o'clock or so this afternoon. Dumped some brief heavy rainfall, which was very good, very much needed around here. And it's beginning to move on to the west, as you see right here, beginning to fade on out. As we lose the daytime heat, that loses the instability and gives us a pretty quiet evening overall. But more storms anticipated for your day tomorrow, so keep that in mind. Looking at the amounts, more than likely along the coast we had the best rainfall chances, and the amounts anywhere from about 1 to 2 inches possible, all the way from Rockport to Palacios and points to the north and east from there. Move inland, the rain chances still continue, but the amounts more than likely less. As you move north of 59, maybe anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch if you're lucky in some parts of the region. Key, the further east you go, the better the rain chances and the rain amounts will be. And speaking of that, here's that low pressure area we've been tracking pretty much all week. So continuing to kind of roam around the Gulf of Mexico, it's projected to move more toward the northeast coming up for the next couple of days, beginning really tomorrow. But we're still close enough to give us some rainfall around the circulation center here. Note the winds coming around from the north. That'll begin a drying process for us and give us some good weather coming up for the weekend especially. Add this front into the mix here, coming in through your day on Friday, which will move on through and pretty much stay in the Gulf of Mexico. And the dry air behind the front will give us the sunshine back. It's been a long time since we've seen that. And pretty good weather overall for the weekend, especially with the lows in the 60s. Not out of the question, so get ready for that. A little taste of fall. I think it's about time for that. In Cuero, how's it looking like? Cloudy skies for the majority of the time period for your day tomorrow. Plan your Thursday. Cloudy to partly cloudy skies, scattered rain showers and thunderstorms here and there. Some could be on the heavy side briefly, so keep that in mind. The flood watch in effect until 1 o'clock for your day tomorrow. It could be some ponding on the roads. High temperatures in the 80s, that's it because of the cloud cover, so that's definitely a plus. And Port Lavaca, we're keeping the cloudy skies in. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms throughout the forecast period for your day tomorrow. 87 degrees, more than likely will be the daytime high. And starting along the coast, where there'll be the rain showers moving their way inland throughout the day on your Thursday. And that includes us in Victoria. Cloudy skies to start off with. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms throughout the day with high temperatures in the upper 80s or so. Northerly winds around the low pressure area about 10 to 15 miles per hour. An extended forecast for us. Rain chances tomorrow, 50%. Kind of like today with scattered rain showers and storms in the forecast. Front moves through, gives us 30% chance of rainfall. Then they dries on out and gives us some nice weather. A little taste of fall. Yes, it's true. Highs in the 80s. But note the lows in the 60s, 65 degrees especially. Coming up for your Monday morning, feeling a little bit cooler. The low humidity with that as well, so making it feel very much like fall. But that's kind of short-lived because here comes another rain chance coming in as the high moves away for Tuesday and Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Overall, kind of looking like fall weather will be part of our weekend forecast and looking good for high school football, by the way. So get ready for that as well. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code. that you see right there. They'll take you to a webpage. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient. It's free of charge as well to be connected with us. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Trey. Well, the temperatures are cooling off, but Max Williams joins us now with what's heating up on the court.
There's Sean, a Goliad volleyball player. Maven Wanch has been a top leader this season for the Goliad Tigers. We'll talk about her and more in sports. All right, everyone. So today we're starting our sports block. We're taking our towns to the net with an outstanding junior in Maven Wanch from Goliad, who's putting up some great numbers this season and has been a big piece for the Tigerettes volleyball team. Earlier, we highlighted Goliad volleyball, but their upcoming season with libero Carolyn Youngblood and head coach Jess Odom. But another great player we were sleeping on was junior Maven Wanch, who's putting up great numbers this season. So what makes her perform like this on the court every night? She gave us two things that are her secret sauce.
Energy drinks. I have one at least every game day I try to, so I could like stay hype and stay energetic for my team. But other people really get me hype and energetic too, like Isabel, our setter. She and Addison and Carol, they all get us like hype and stuff.
Now, besides having some energy drinks before each game, Wanch also has excelled at being a leader this season. She talks about some of the people that have helped her get to that leadership status.
Pretty fun. I mean, people around you are very supportive and stuff. Like my mom, she helps me kind of like, she tells me like what to like, how to take care of a situation and all that.
With Wanch wanting to be more of a leader this season, her and the entire Lady Tigerettes team still have one goal in mind this season.
State, but just making it far is pretty good for a young team like us, because from last year losing 2 seniors and then losing to Columbus for the third time, that really helped us motivate to like get up and stuff.
Once the entire Lady Tigerettes team is hoping for major success the rest of the season after already starting 22-3 so far. This is Max Williams, KVU TV 25, News Now Sports. All right, congrats to Maven and the Lady Tigerettes team so far this season. They kept their winning ways going last night, beating Victoria West, and this was a top 10 battle for both of these teams. The game went back and forth. Again, looking at it Victoria West, Avery Griffin had a great game for the team for Victoria West, but also Jess Odom and the Tigerettes, they got the job done. They won in 3 sets, 25-20, 25-22, and then 25-11 in the third set. And some of the leaders for Goliad were Carolyn Youngblood. She had 20 digs And then Maven Wanch, who we just highlighted, right? And Addison Yendry had 10 kills in the game there last night. So they improved, like I said, 22-3, and they travel to Corpus Christi on Friday night. And now over to the football field. Edna has another tough competition this week versus the Bay City Black Cats on the road. And Edna, they come off an overtime win last week over Industrial. That was a back-and-forth contest. And star player Braylon Harris, he had a great game, and he showed up for the Cowboys. And now for Bay City, they scored 62 points last week versus Sweeney, and they look to add another win possibly against Edna. And their quarterback, Alex Estrada, showed up for the Black Cats, and they helped them get the Week 1 win. So I think this game will be exciting. I think it's going to live up to the hype on Friday night. Now that brings me back. We've highlighted the game, previewed it right to our viewer poll. Again, we've kind of asked this question for a lot of teams here, right? Who's going to win between Edna and Bay City? Right now, it looks like 63% got Bay City right now, and about 37% have for Edna right now for the polls. So see if that changes again. We saw a different change yesterday with the polls. Maybe it'll be different for the 10 o'clock. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shauna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. Some interesting information coming from AAA's annual National Driving Survey. AAA's Foundation for Traffic Safety is out with its annual survey on American driving habits. The survey found Americans are driving around 2.7 trillion miles each year. Wow. That's like taking 500 round trips between Earth and Neptune. It also found about 95% of Americans say they drive occasionally. AAA says people mostly behind the wheel tend to be drivers with less education. The most at-risk driving group, teens, are driving older cars on the road that come with fewer safety features.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is, for sure.
All right, well, if you're still trying to decide on some dinner options for the week, here's an idea: cheese pizza. Why? Because Thursday is National Cheese Pizza Day, observed every year on September 5th. Your pie for National Cheese Pizza Day doesn't have to just be the standard mozzarella. You can mix it up with all kinds of varieties: Gouda, Parmesan, Gorgonzola, even cheddar. Humans have been eating pizza-like dishes for thousands of years. The Greeks had bread covered with herbs, oil, and cheese, and the Romans would put bay leaves, cheese, and honey on dough. That actually sounds pretty tasty. Our modern idea of pizza began with the Napoleon flatbread pizza topped with mozzarella and buffalo milk. So you can make them at home. You can order them up from one of the local pizza shops, you know, all kinds of options.
Yeah, but did the Greeks deliver them to your door?
I don't know. They probably invited everybody over to, you know, eat together.
I know, it's all Greek to me. I was still celebrating my 40th anniversary at the station, so I want to thank you for being part of that celebration for the high temperatures, all in the 80s this week. Thank you so much.
Ironically enough, yes,
Yes.
exactly. And here's a little, well, this is not a cheesy forecast. We'll keep it at that. But the temperatures will be more agreeable by the weekend with sunny skies. Rain chances for your Thursday, 50% chances, primarily in the afternoon. And lingering again on your Friday, front comes through, clears us out. Lows in the 60s over the weekend. That's the start of fall feel around here. Rain chances return, though, coming up by Tuesday and Wednesday.
I'll take those 80s. Once again.
Me too.
Trey.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Trey, and thanks for joining us.
Join us back here for 25 News Now at 10.